the U.S. Constitution was accepted slowly, state by state, after long hesitation. But one small state shocked everyone by saying yes, faster than expected.
On January 9th, 1788, Connecticut made a decision that could have changed America forever. If they had said no, the Constitution might have collapsed before it even began.
So why did Connecticut approve the Constitution so confidently, while others hesitated?
To understand that, we need to go back.
It's a freezing morning in Hartford, Connecticut, January 9th, 1788.
Inside this building, delegates are taking their seats, knowing today is not just another debate.
They are here to decide whether Connecticut will accept the new U.S. Constitution or reject it.
Outside these walls, the country is struggling. Weak leadership, economic chaos, and states pulling in different directions.
The old system has already failed. Everyone in this room knows it.
But the question isn't whether the old system is broken. The question is whether this new Constitution fixes it or makes things worse.
One vote today could push America toward unity or send it back into uncertainty.
And to understand that, we need to look at what America was facing at this exact.
After winning independence from Britain, America was free, but it was far from stable. Each state acted like its own country, making its own rules, protecting its own interests.
The national government had no real power to collect taxes or control the economy.
Trade between states was breaking down. Debts were unpaid. Ordinary people were losing trust. The Articles of Confederation were supposed to hold the country together, but they were too weak to do so.
Congress could not enforce laws. It could not protect the nation. It could barely function.
Many feared the United States might collapse or split apart before it truly began.
That fear is what led to a bold idea, a new constitution, designed to fix what had failed.
But not every state trusted this solution, and not every state was ready to say yes. So why did Connecticut see opportunity where others saw danger?
To understand that, we need to understand Connecticut itself.
This debate wasn't just about politicians or power in Washington.
It was about ordinary people struggling to survive in a system that wasn't working.
States were taxing each other. Trade was slowing down. Jobs were disappearing.
Even soldiers who fought for independence were left unpaid and forgotten.
Every delay made things worse. Every weak decision pushed the country closer to collapse. For regular Americans, the Constitution wasn't a theory. It was a possible way out.
Connecticut understood this better than most states.
They weren't chasing power. They were chasing balance.
A government strong enough to protect people, but limited enough to never control them.
That belief would shape how Connecticut judged the Constitution.
To answer that, we need to understand how Connecticut thought differently.
Connecticut wasn't driven by fear. It was driven by experience.
For years, this state had practiced structured self-government at the local level.
Connecticut understood something many states did not. Order creates freedom, not the other way around.
They believed power should never sit in one place, but it also shouldn't be too weak to function.
While other states saw the Constitution as a threat, Connecticut saw it as a tool.
A tool to balance state rights with national strength.
This mindset shaped every argument made inside Hartford's ratification hall.
They weren't asking who gets more power. They were asking what system actually works.
And that question led them to a solution they had already helped create.
A solution that would change the entire structure of American government.
To understand Connecticut's confidence,
We must understand that compromise.
Before Connecticut ever voted on the Constitution, it had already shaped it. America was divided between large states and small states, each demanding a different kind of representation. Large states wanted power based on population. Small states feared being ignored completely. The debate became so intense that the entire convention nearly failed.
That's when Connecticut proposed a different way forward.
A two-house legislature, one based on population, and one where every state is equal. It wasn't perfect, but it was fair enough for everyone to move forward.
This idea became known as the Connecticut Compromise, and it became one of the strongest pillars of the U.S. Constitution.
So when it was time to ratify the Constitution, Connecticut wasn't trusting a gamble. They were trusting a system they had already helped design.
Not everyone in Connecticut supported the Constitution.
Many feared it would create a government too powerful to control.
They worried that a strong central authority might erase state independence.
Some believed the new system could threaten personal liberty.
Others asked a dangerous question. Where are the protections for the people?
At the time, the Constitution did not yet include a Bill of Rights.
For many, that silence was alarming.
The fear wasn't imaginary. It was rooted in history.
After escaping a king, no one wanted to create another one.
Connecticut now faced a choice between the fear of concentrated power and the fear of a nation that could fail.
And that decision would be made on a single winter day.
If Connecticut rejected the Constitution, the consequences would reach far beyond its borders. Ratification depended on trust and momentum, and that momentum was fragile. A single rejection could have encouraged other states to delay or walk away entirely.
The Constitution might have stalled before it ever became law.
Economic instability would have continued. Trade would remain fractured. States would keep acting like rivals, not partners.
Foreign powers could exploit American weakness.
Connecticut's vote carried weight because it signaled confidence, or doubt, to the entire nation. Time was not on America's side. This was more than a political choice. It was a gamble on the country's future. On January 9th, 1788, Connecticut made its decision. January 9th, 1788, the day Connecticut would decide its future.
After weeks of debate, the moment had arrived.
There would be no speeches now, only judgment. Each vote carried the weight of an entire nation. This decision could not be undone.
Every second felt longer than the last.
The room waited.
Connecticut voted to ratify the United States Constitution.
The decision was clear and decisive.
Connecticut became the fifth state to say yes.
But the impact of that vote would stretch far beyond one state.
Connecticut's decision did not stand alone. It sent a signal that the Constitution could be trusted.
Momentum began to build across the country.
The framework for a stronger national government was taking shape.
One that balanced national authority with state independence.
Economic confidence began to return.
So did stability.
Connecticut helped prove that unity was possible.
But the story wasn't finished yet.
Not every state was convinced.
And the final chapters would test the Constitution even further.
Many believed that a strong national government would lead straight back to tyranny.
But Connecticut understood something deeper.
Power wasn't being concentrated. It was being divided, each branch designed to restrain the others.
State governments were not being erased. They were being protected.
The Constitution was built on limits.
Strength and restraint were meant to exist together.
That balance is why Connecticut trusted the system.
The real danger was never balance. It was extremes.
And Connecticut chose balance.
Connecticut's vote happened more than 2 centuries ago, but its impact never faded. The system built in 1788 still shapes how the country functions today.
Every debate over federal power and state rights traces back to this moment.
Connecticut didn't vote for perfection. It voted for possibility. It chose unity over fear and balance over extremes. That single winter day helped turn a fragile alliance into a nation.
Not because Connecticut was the largest state, but because it understood what America needed to survive.
And this was one of the most important.
If this story helped you understand America better,
Support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing.
We're telling America's story, one state at a time.
turn on notifications so you don't miss the next state.